You know, I really like tea. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to our 1,000 subscriber special. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we hit 1,000 subscribers this past week, and honestly, I could not be more thrilled or more excited. This has been awesome. We've been working towards this goal for so long, and we finally hit it. We are in the quadruple digits now, baby, and I am so excited, guys. So many awesome things open up for you as a YouTuber at 1K subs. We're now actually a YouTube partner, so we can monetize videos. You can have the community tab. A whole bunch of awesome stuff is coming. So that's really, really awesome. But thank you guys so much for getting us to 1K. It really does mean a lot. I appreciate all you guys consistently just supporting me and just supporting the channel and all the cool stuff we've been doing. And it's awesome. And yeah, and anyway, guys, I'm sorry. I know this has taken a little while to get out. I've had a really tough week, but you guys have been there for me, and I really appreciate that. And so I'm getting the 1K sub special out. And believe me, guys, now that we've hit this point, I'm really going to start taking YouTube more seriously. I'm going to be making more videos, better quality videos. We're going to get new series out. We've got the much awaited heavy loadout video coming out on the 18th, so that's going to be exciting. But anyway, for today, we're doing a story time video for our 1,000 subscriber special of the time that I had to run a lap in middle school for saying the word steal. Sounds ridiculous, right? Well, let me tell you the story. So back in 7th grade, I Cascarte was in a private school. And it was one of those really small private schools where you have like 9 people in a single classroom, right? And the classes were so small that 2 grades were combined into one classroom and taught under one teacher, right? So I was in the 7th grade class, which was joined with the 8th grade class. And to give you an idea of how small it was, I was in 7th grade, and my buddy Ben, who was like my right-hand man, he was also in 7th grade. And that was it. That was the entire 7th grade class, was just the 2 of us. So then in the 8th grade, there was a bit more people. There was about 7 other people, including our friend whose name was Drew. Now, Drew and Ben and me, we were not very popular. We were kind of the class outcasts, so to speak. The rest of the class didn't like us. And the reason why is because the rest of the class had like that whole typical middle school pecking order where, okay, this is who you answer to, this is who you answer to. No. We weren't about that life. We didn't accept their pecking order. We rejected it. We do what we want. You know, if somebody up top needs something done, we're not going to hop to and do their orders because we're our own people. We do our own thing. So that was our attitude. And so obviously we were just kind of shunned by the rest of the class who took part in the pecking order. So it's basically us 3 versus those 5 or 6. I obviously can't do math. So we had a science class right before lunch period. And our science teacher's name, I don't want to use her real name because, reasons. So we're going to call her Miss Nakawook. Okay, so Miss Nakawook was our science teacher, and she taught the class right before lunch let out. So we left Mrs. Nakawook's class one day, and we went to lunch. And so Ben and Drew and I were all sitting together at our table, and the rest of the middle school class, they crowded in over near the high schoolers because they didn't want to sit near us. Oh, we don't want to sit next to you filthy scum and eat our food with all your filthy rebel food. So we sat by ourselves, but you know what? We didn't care. We were having a good time, having a good old time eating and drinking and making merry. So Miss Knucklewoost, she went and she sat way on the other side of the lunchroom, right? Like I'm talking about, you guys know how big a school lunchroom is. She went and sat way on the other side of it. And she sat next to a teacher whose name was Mr. Birdman. That's what I'm going to call him. Mr. Birdman sat next to her. He was the history teacher. I didn't really care for him very much, but that's besides the point. So Drew and Ben and I are sitting down, and we're eating our lunch. And there's a girl in our class named Robin. Now, Robin was kind of second in command to the highest of the pecking order, whose name was Courtney. But Robin brought a bag of microwave popcorn to school. And she heated up in the microwave like you do. and she was sharing it with all the other middle schoolers at her table, and even some of the high schoolers, just passing it out like it was flyers for a political candidate, right? Just passing it out. And Drew, Drew's not really the brightest guy ever. He's like, oh, hey, Robin's sharing her popcorn with everybody. I'm going to go over there and see if she'll give me some. And I'm saying to him, I'm like, Drew, bro, don't do that. Don't do that, buddy. Don't go asking her for popcorn. She clearly is trying to irritate us by obviously not sharing with us to make us feel bad. Because we're the outcasts. Remember? You got to remember, Drew, we're the outcasts. Okay, they don't like us. Well, Drew, he's not really used to being an outcast. He's kind of new to this whole thing. I've been an outcast all my life, so there's nothing new to me. But Drew doesn't really get it. He's like, oh, no, I'm sure she'll share her popcorn with me. So he walks over there to ask her for some popcorn, right? And she doesn't share it with her. Yeah, I know, crazy, right? She does not share her popcorn with him. She just says no. And C tries to argue with her, but she's like, no, I'm not going to share any with you. So C comes and he sits back down across from me, and he is all upset, right? Drew is so upset about it. So I say to him, I say, what's the matter? She didn't give you any of her popcorn, did she? And he said, no, she did not. And so I jokingly, okay, first off, guys, you got to realize this is a joke, okay? Let's make this very clear here. This is silly. This is stupid because I say to him, do you want me to go over there and steal some for you? Because I'm going to go over and steal a girl's popcorn, right? It's stupid. So, of course, he sees I'm joking, so he smiles and he's like, yeah, you go over there and do that. So we're talking, okay? And we're talking at decently normal voices and in a crowded, noisy lunchroom. Remember that, guys. Remember, this is a noisy lunchroom. And Miss Nakawu is sitting way over across the cafeteria room. And yet somehow she hears us and she stands up and yells, hey! And everybody gets very, very quiet. And she's got sandwich in her mouth, so it's kind of hard to understand what she's saying. But she says something to the effect of, do you say we're going to steal something? And she's like, all right, go run a lap. Go run a lap. And if you hear noises, that's my stomping my feet. She was stomping her feet. So she clearly had it out for us. And yeah, that was her punishment, guys. If she didn't like something you did, you had to run a lap around the entire perimeter of the fence in the back of the school. So she had already made me and Ben run a lap earlier that day. But now she was making me and Drew do it. Okay? So the entire lunchroom has their eyes turned towards us because they know who she's talking to. And I'm just like, okay. So I'm like, I don't care, running aids and digestion, not really, but I don't care, right? It's a lap. I'm running a short little lap around the school. I mean, it's stupid, I will agree. It's stupid that I have to run a lap for saying steal. Like I said I was going to steal some popcorn, guys, so, you got to nip that right in the bud. You got to make the kid run a lap around the fence for that. But no, she says go run a lap. So I'm like, okay, all right. So I get up and I'm just walking across the lunchroom. Everybody's looking at me. I don't really care, right? But I go out back and I'm going to go run my lap. And Drew looks at me, right? He looks at me as if to say, oh, I am so sorry, bro. But then she drops the bombshell now, guys. She says, you too, Drew. And he gets all upset. He's like, what? Wait a minute. What am I going to run a lap for? I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything. I didn't tell him to do anything. And she's like, you told him to. And he's protesting all the way out back to run the lap. He is protesting. He is so upset that he has to run a lap. And so he and I are running the lap, and the whole time we're running, I'm just kind of jogging around, just having a ball, having fun. I'm in middle school. I don't care about any of this. I think it's funny, to be honest with you. I thought it was funny. And see, a lap is not a punishment to me. If I have to run a little bit, I don't care. I could not care less, okay? She didn't make me write a paper. She didn't make me sit away from everybody else at lunch all by myself. She made me run a lap that takes less than 2 minutes around the outside of the school, and then I can go back to lunch. That's not a punishment, okay? And to be fair, I was doing this for no reason, but that's besides the point. This is not a punishment. But Drew is so upset. He's acting like she sent him to a concentration camp. It's not fair. I didn't do anything. I'm not. And I'm like, Drew, it's just a lap. Why are you so upset? What is wrong with you, right? We go and we finish our lap. We go and sit back down. Everybody's looking at us. I don't care. Drew is clearly very ashamed. The punishment clearly worked on him. And I don't know why. Because who cares? Who cares if you have to run a lap? It's not that big of a deal. Was he embarrassed because he got shamed in front of the whole school? Again, Drew was new to being a rebel, so maybe this was an issue. Maybe it's because his mother worked as a teacher there. Maybe he had some issue with her. I didn't care, okay? I couldn't have cared less. And Ben and I tried our best to cheer Drew up because for the next hour and a half, okay, this is like close to 12:30, until about 2, Drew started, well, he didn't start. Drew complained the whole hour and a half that it wasn't fair, he shouldn't have had to run a lap, blah, 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 blah. And he just wouldn't quit. And I was like, what is wrong with you? It's a lap. I had to run one earlier. This was my second one. You see me complaining? And Ben was like, I had to run a lap earlier. It was no big deal. And, you know, Ben had problems. So, you know, if anybody had the right to be upset over running a lap, it was Ben. But I'm not going to say what problems he had because it was mental things, okay? But point is, Drew was all upset over nothing. So, yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. It was a stupid situation. First off, it was a stupid thing to make you run a lap for. Like, really, you're gonna make somebody run a lap not for actually attempting to steal popcorn. Okay, I didn't walk over to the table, reach my arm out, and grab the girl's popcorn and run away laughing. Okay, first off, I wouldn't do that. And secondly, well, maybe. Okay, no, I wouldn't do it. But even so, right? Maybe then make me run a lap, but I'm just talking about it. I'm laughing and joking with my buddy about how I am going to go steal some popcorn for him because of how silly it is, and she takes it so seriously. And there's two things I can't understand here. One, how does she hear us? Because this is such a noisy lunchroom, okay? And we're talking at decently normal voices. We're not yelling or anything, you know, or maybe we're talking a little loud because, again, it's noisy. Did I stress the fact that it's noisy? And yet somehow she picks up on this. So either she bugged our table or was eavesdropping or apparently has bat sonar ears that she was able to pick up on this. Also, something I forgot to mention earlier, you remember how I said she had sandwich in her mouth and why she was yelling at us? Well, little pieces were flying, guys, which she was completely oblivious to. But Mr. Birdman, who was eating stuff that it's not easy to get little bits of food out of, he kind of jerked his plate away because obviously little stuff from her mouth had kind of gotten onto his food. So I remember when we were walking out there to go run our lap, I turned around, he was putting the rest of his lunch in the trash can. So he was not a happy camper. He was not a happy camper. And obviously, you know, Knockwoosh was oblivious to this, but it don't matter. It don't matter. So, I would have felt bad for Mr. Birdman, but he was kind of a piece of crap, so I didn't really care. No, Notchwoo was, I don't even remember the name I came up with for, I'm just saying random gibberish at this point. She was not a piece of crap, she was just overly dramatic and a little childish, which obviously you can see by this. Anyway, guys, that is the story of how I had to run a lap for saying the word steal. Now, don't go away yet. Don't click off the video because I got a special little bonus treat for you. So, years ago, before I even thought about doing YouTube, right? Back before PewDiePie had even hit 20 million subs. Okay, back when PewDiePie was relatively unknown, when this incident happened, my brother and I made a skit video on a cell phone that I had. One of those really old little Java flip phones that records at like 240p. My brother and I made a little skit where we acted out this little incident in the school. I played as myself and as Knockwoo, and my brother, he played as Drew and played as Mr. Birdman. And we just reenacted the entire story in a little movie form. And I've never shown anybody this before outside of just family and stuff. I think I showed it to Drew one time and he was kind of ticked off because we portrayed him in such a poor light. But I'm finally going to show you guys today. This was kind of the first thing I ever really made video form. And it's kind of funny because years later, I'm a YouTuber with 1,000 subs. So that's exciting. But yeah, so I'm going to show you guys this video today. It's just a reenactment of the entire story I just told. I think it's hilarious even looking back at it now, even though the quality isn't great. But yeah, I'm going to show it to you guys. So go ahead and take a look at that. And yeah, I hope you enjoy it.
mine. So you better than take other people's food. Men.
Hey, I've been sharing your popcorn with everybody. I'm gonna go get some.
Well, you can try, Drew, but I really doubt that she'll give you any.
Nah, she'll know herself.
She won't. What's the matter? Rob not give you any of her popcorn?
No, she didn't.
Want me to go steal some for you?
Yeah, you go do that.
Hey! Does little friend want to steal something? Alright! Go on what? Go on what? What?
Ooh. Sorry, man.
You can, Jim! Drew, it's not that big of a punishment. It wasn't fair. This is not fair. Punish the kids, yeah. Punish the kids, yeah. Punish the kids.
Alrighty guys, well that is the video. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I apologize. It's taken me a while to get this 1K sub special out, but I've had a really busy and honestly kind of a crappy week. We're back now. I plan on throwing myself back into YouTube. We're gonna get content out. We're going to upload a bunch of videos. I got the heavyweight video going. I'm going to start producing stuff for the Rise to the Top series. Still working on getting the internet fixed. Be honest with you guys, it kind of looks a little hopeless at this point, but we'll see what I can do. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I definitely do appreciate it. And yeah, please let me know what you think of this video down in the comments below. What did you think of the story, about having to run a lap, all that other crap, because I want to hear what you guys have to say. But thank you guys again for watching. Until next time, I am your host, Cascarte Utica. This has been our 1K subscriber special. Until next time, I will see you all at the top.
I'm about to end this man's whole career. There goes a sight from my soul.